Hello lovely people, I welcome you once again to Bright and Clara's channel. Thank you all for clicking. This is episode 110 on the Oyarifa's project. Alright, so in your view is a typical 3D representation of the 7-bedroom house that we are putting up for our client. It is important to always get your 3D, which is the rendering, okay, from your architect, because this helps you to have a pictorial view of how your house is going to look like when it is completed. Do you plan on owning a land in Ghana? Are you planning to visit Ghana and purchase a land? Then I recommend Select Estate for you. Okay, please contact Select Estate. Avoid the unnecessary ups and down with the scam, not proper demarcations, road access is difficult. No, contact Select Estate with an affordable price. The roads are demarcated. The land is in a position where when it rains, whatever the circumstances, there is no flooding. You can always access your plot, okay, even when it rains 3 times in a day. You understand? So it is important for you to consider those features. Access to the main road is also important. So contact Select Estate and get your land as soon as possible. So as you already know, the plastering is still ongoing. Like I said, this is almost taking like 2 months to be able to complete the plastering, because there's a lot to be done and we want to take our time. In the same time, the landscaping of the compound is also taking place. And when we started this house from episode 1, you will notice that the ground itself has water in there. And we improvised a lot of waterproof chemicals, and then also we did what we call the bitumen waterproof coating, both on the inside and then on the outside. And so by finishing it, we want to make sure that there's no outside water coming onto the compound. And by doing so, we need to landscape the house and make sure that the height of the house is that greater than of the outside. You understand? And so that is exactly what we are doing right here. So the landscaping is still ongoing. And then once we are done with the landscaping, the compactor will come and then do the ramming. And then after that, we're going to do a demarcation for the planters, where we're going to plant some few grass and flowers. And then we're going to demarcate that. And then we're going to move on to the perimeter fence wall plastering. Okay, we're going to do that. So this is the beauty of the plastering. When it comes to plastering, it needs time. It doesn't have to be in a rush. Are you with me? For me, I always believe that if it is a dream house, then there shouldn't be any rush. Get the right people so that from the onset they do the right thing. Don't get people to mess up with the foundation and then now you call the right people to come and continue. It's going to create a whole mess, because I will not be comfortable continuing from something that I know is already in a mess. It means that we have to again do a lot of digging and restructuring and all of that. That is more expensive. Okay, so I always tell people, which is more expensive, getting it cheap and doing it twice, or get the price affordable but gain and do it once? Which one is more expensive? You understand? So you need to be very careful when you are dealing with cheap things. Okay, it is very important. So the window dressings taking place. We are working on the burglar bars. You know, I'm not a fan of a burglar bar, but when I was building my house, I was like, no, I'm not going to have a burglar bar. I went, ups and down with my wife. My wife said, hey, you will need a burglar bar. So here, the architect is indicating that we have to do stone cladding. Okay, there's going to be a stone cladding in this area. Okay, so that's my brother, Mr. Mauli. He's the project coordinator here. So here there's going to be a ramp that will take you to the room. So this is another entrance to the room. The room has two entrances. Okay, and so all that area from the top all the way to the bottom, there's going to be a stone cladding in that area. Okay, this is an afterthought though. The client wants a stone cladding in order, so the architect is marking areas where the stone cladding is gonna be. You understand? Yes, so these are all for the purposes of stone cladding. This is going to be a ramp. You sit in a wheelchair and you go. Okay, and then here too there's going to be a planter. That's why we hit the air condition over there. So the architect has marked over there too, there's going to be a stone cladding in that area. So wait to see the beauty. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of beauty coming out of the stone cladding. So this is the back side. That also is a planter. And you see how we design the windows with the slab overshadowing it. And so this also prevents unnecessary rainwater from entering your room. Okay, it gives you that sunlight directly having access into your window. So your room will be always cold. You understand? Yes, probably give it some room temperature. So far so good. This is what we're doing. So basically stone cladding on most of the areas. Okay, so if the client had informed us earlier, probably wouldn't have done a lot of plastering in those areas, and we would have left those portions so that the stone cladding will come and it will flush with the plastering. You understand? It will then flush with the plastering. So that is exactly what we're going. So we are going to find a solution whether to do a cutting. We're going to cut, make sure it is linear. When we cut, we'll scrape off the plastering from that section so that it left with the block work, and then the stone cladding will fit in and then flush with the plastering. You understand? So that is exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so they are still taking their measurement, making sure that everything is in line. So there's one thing I always want to tell people out there, that when an architect designs a house for you, don't rule the architect out of the project. Always keep him in the loop. If he has to come from time to time, you pay him. You understand? Just so you can get the outcome of the design. Unless, of course, the architect is not a good person, is not good with his work, and then the drawing is in a mess, then everything is in a mess. You understand? But always go in for good architects. I always tell you, don't say, oh, the architect price is too much. No. The outcome of the drawing, the outcome of the design is important. And the execution, okay? Because you will need good architect with good companies that have structural engineers that can design your house that can last a lifetime. Because you're going to pass on this beautiful house to the first, second, and even the third generation. You understand? You shouldn't pass on debt to the next generation. Okay, so this house, as you see, there's a lot of reinforcement, quality work, cement, even the sand, the oversight casting. We use quarry dust. You saw all the videos from the beginning. If you have not watched, go back to the beginning and watch what we did actually to this project. So this house is solid. You understand? This house, because I paid so much attention to this particular building, and I don't want to be having so many projects and not have the outcome to be that quality. You understand? So I make sure that even if it's 5 projects that I'm handling, we focus much on that. Because what are the critical areas? The critical areas are the foundation. So I am more into the foundation. Once we finish the foundation, we move to the next and the next, and then we'll come back to superstructure. Those where we focus much on the details, and those detail comes out, and then I'm done. And then another portion that I focus much on is the slab. That is another problem. If the slab is not constructed and is not checked properly, it can sag in, it can create a problem in the future. The moment you're walking on it, you can hear some funny sounds, which is not supposed to be so. You understand? Yes. So here, look at the arch over there, the plastering taking place. These are living areas. When you walk in from the entrance, you come into the living area with a void all the way to the ceiling. Okay, look at that. The plastering is good. Okay, so this area onto your left, that is a breakfast area. Okay, and then in the middle over there, that is a kitchen, which is an open concept kitchen, and the door to your right is the pantry, and then from the pantry you can exit to the outdoor kitchen. So there is an outdoor kitchen. You understand? So you can see that the kitchen itself is a void all the way to the top. Okay, so kitchen and breakfast area. Are you with me? And this is the living area. Okay, and then it will extend to where the cement is. That is another area, which is a great room, which has the holocal staircase taking you all the way to the first floor. You understand? Like I said, I have purchased my own scaffolds, so it makes work more easier. You understand? It makes work more easier for us. We don't have to be going up and down renting scaffolds. We have to invest into it. So probably from one project to another, I would then acquire all the necessary things that I need to enhance my project. So the gate fabrication is also in progress. We want to make sure that by the time the perimeter fence wall is done, the gate will also be ready, and then we can secure the house. It is important. Before we can do any wiring or anything, we need to secure the house to avoid any scrupulous person from coming to interrupt with our project. So the client decided on this design. Very simple. This is not the color, this is a primer. Okay, so when you're fabricating your metals, always use the top-notch metals. Okay, yes, the quality galvanized metals that will last a lifetime. And then also the finishing, because they are using electric, they have to do a primer on all of them. Okay, I'll be coming your way with episode 111. I believe you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up. My name is Mr. Bright. I am the CEO of B&C Constructions Limited. From me to you, shalom. God bless you. Bye bye.